I see a lot of people kind of starting BMX, maybe at the intermediate range, and they kind of hit a point where they're just not really improving. Or maybe they start and it takes them a year to learn a bunny hop, whenever it took me like a week. And there's no difference between me and you. You know, I'm some like skinny, you know, I'm skinny, nothing crazy about me. I'm not like extremely athletic. Everybody's basically the same. Even if you're heavier than me, it's all basically the same. So there's some key components in BMX that I'm going to tell you guys about how to improve faster, maybe why you're not improving in BMX. So if you're kind of not happy with your growth or whatever, make sure you watch this video all the way to the end, because I'm going to be giving tips and examples of what I did and people I know all throughout this video, and hopefully you guys can pick something up. If you get some knowledge out of this, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. What's going on, guys? My name is Greyson Roberts, and like I said, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I make how-tos, I make vlogs, I make bike roasts. People love it when I flame the shit out of their bikes. All sorts of good stuff, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. And today, I'm going to talk about why you may not be improving. If you're not happy with your growth, this video is for you. Maybe you are, and you might pick up a few tips, and you might get way better, way faster. So anyway, we're going to start out with learning things goofy or switch. So some examples. So when I was first starting BMX, luckily I had a mentor, and he really taught me the proper form, the proper way to learn every trick. I didn't learn switch bars first. I didn't learn, you know, Indian givers first. I learned everything by the book, and that helped my growth 100%. Now you might think that's like, oh, okay, I do everything right, but sometimes you might not think about it. Your form may be off, so pay attention to your form on every single trick. And if you want to know how to do a certain trick, make sure you check out my how-to playlist. I drop a lot of good stuff. I'm going to be dropping more. I'm going to try to come out with something this week, so let me know in the description below. Go through my how-tos and tell me what I haven't done and what you want to learn. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to make a how to pull-up bar or a crank flip, so don't even say that. But for example, my buddy, who this honestly helped him. He didn't really, I mean, this is going against what I'm saying, but he learned, everything's right, he does everything the correct way, but he's goofy pegged. So basically, if you're supposed to grind on the right, he actually grinds on the opposite side. So this kind of, he can't really do like double peg hard 180s that well. If he has to do that, he has to do a switch double peg hard 180, and that screws him up. But it does help because easier 180s, so like the double peg easy 180, he has those on lock. So, but down the road, it's just much easier to be able to do regular grinds, learn them the proper way, and then add switch later on once you get the fundamentals down doing a certain direction. It really helps, and sometimes it does screw him up. And another friend that I know, he does a lot of, I actually know a lot of people like this. They learned bars the opposite direction. So many people learn switch bars. Pay attention to the way you throw your bars. If you're even like your first time throwing a bar, if you throw it the other direction, you're going to be slightly more comfortable than throwing it the other. So make sure your first bar spin you ever throw, you learn regular. And if you're doing switch bars right now as your regular, you need to switch. Learn the other ones, and here's why. This kid, he's really good. He's really good. But when it comes to bar spins, it's like one of his favorite tricks. It's a really, like once you get bar spins down, it's a really, really easy trick to throw in everything, spice a lineup, do whatever you want. So he learned them switch. So his 180 bars, even though he's really good at bar spins, you're spinning the same way you're rotating. So here's what I do. I do a regular 180 and I bar spin into the spin. And it turns into almost a half bar. But what he does is he spins this way and throws the opposite way. So he's doing almost a bar and a half. It's much harder for him to do one bars. They're much less consistent, and I don't even know if he can truck driver. It'd be really hard to do a truck driver like that. So if you learn it the right way, everything you learn with bar spins, it's just gonna go boom, boom, boom. It's all natural. It's all like a truck driver. It doesn't even feel like you're doing a bar spin. It feels like you're doing a 360 and holding your hand like this as you spin around the bar. So it's a huge, huge benefit to learn everything the correct way, especially bar spins. And I see a lot of people, they're learning tail whips, and this is a big one because tail whips are really hard and they're not really consistent even if you're good at them. So a lot of people, they'll do switch whips, and like maybe that feels comfortable, their front foot, and they kick with their front foot, that feels natural to them. And some people, they'll land it, but there's no way they're gonna be able to do a regular whip switch 180, you know what I mean? So it's really hard to learn any kind of variations with tail whips if you do them the wrong way. It's possible, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very difficult. And if you're doing, like the same thing with a bar spin, if you're doing a 180 tail whip and you're kicking the way you're rotating, it feels like half a tail whip. It's like so much less effort because you're kicking the same way you're rotating. The momentum is following you. So definitely do not screw up like bar spins, tail whips, spins, because the guy that, first of all, it's harder to kick with your front foot and kick, like you're catching much differently. So whenever you kick with your back foot, your front foot is the catching. So it catches, slows it down, does that. But if it's the opposite direction, you're catching with your back foot, and that just throws off all your momentum, less consistent, harder to learn in variations, and so forth. So my friend he's just learning BMX, he thought faking a certain direction he was very close to landing it. I made him stop where he's at because he was doing a switch fakie. It's Caleb. You guys know Caleb, he just learned the 180s and stuff. He was getting
swamp ass.
Swamp ass. It's swamp. You guys know him as swamp ass. He was 180ing a certain direction, but faking out the opposite. So when he went up to the wall, and I taught him to do the wall, like run into the wall and then do a fakie. So he would do that, and it felt really natural. He's getting really close. Not even close landing it the proper way, but switch, he was very close. I made him stop where he's at, unlearn everything he just relearned, and apply it to the regular thing. Because if you're doing a regular 180, your momentum, like every other thing, is going to be carried, and the fakie is going to be so much easier. I know a guy who's really good, but he does Indian givers. He learned fakies switch. So anytime he does any kind of somewhat medium speed 180, you're doing 180, you have to hold the fakie much longer to reroute your momentum the other direction. It is a bitch. Do not learn switch fakies or switch 180s. Just keep everything regular. So if there's something right now that you're thinking as I'm talking, oh, I do this switch, or oh, I'm thinking about this, maybe you need to just understand the proper way to do the trick. Hopefully I've stopped whatever you've got going on so you can relearn it the right way. Because if you learn it the wrong way, you waste time learning it the wrong way, and then you're just going to be stopped. It's going to be so much harder to progress. If you learn it the right way, you're just going to go like this. Trick, 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 trick. All right, the second thing I'm going to talk about is the mentality. So you have to understand that, for example, my bike, I ride a street setup. So it's a street bike, 4 pegs, 4 hub guards, free coaster, fairly heavy, 28 pounds. But that's not actually that heavy. So people trying to learn 360s, this is what I tell them. Like, oh, my bike's too big, the bike's too heavy, I'm not strong enough. If you can hold a ball or a dumbbell that's 28 pounds and hop and do a 360, that's the same amount of weight. You gotta understand that your bike is a machine. You are controlling that machine. It is not controlling you, you are controlling it. So don't even mentally worry about whether your bike's too heavy, whether anything like that. I've hopped tail whipped like a 30-pound bike. It's the exact same thing as hop tail whipping. I've done it on a 15-pound bike. It's all form, it's all the same. Yeah, maybe a lighter bike helps a little bit, but not really. Don't let that get in your head. If you've got a heavy bike, don't be afraid to start learning tricks like tail whips, hop, or anything like that, because that's just gonna hold you back in the long run. And another thing is fear. Falling is not as bad as it sounds. So let's say you're kind of stuck because the trick you wanna learn is the bar spin, but you're afraid to take your hands off. Just take your hands off. Get over the first throw, you'll fall, you'll realize it's not that bad, and then you'll be much more comfortable throwing more and more bar spins if you accept that falling is just a part of the thing. It builds your pain tolerance, and it doesn't really hurt that bad most of the time unless you really fuck up. So if you get over the fear of falling, you're gonna be able to be more confident learning tricks. So a lot of people like me, I slam all the time. Sometimes I'm learning a trick, I know I'm gonna slam, but I have to slam to get through, to learn the trick, the form, everything that goes into it. So just accept that you're gonna fall, ignore the fear. Sometimes just human natural instinct has fear. That's what keeps us safe. But we're in a sport that is dangerous. So you have to just shut that off and go for it. So if you're scared about doing a 360 down a set, do it. If you blow out the back end, it's fine. Chances are, a lot of people, when they think they're gonna fall trying to learn a new trick, they do fall and they don't get hurt that bad because you're landing on your bike and you're what, like a foot off the ground from your bike? You're just gonna kind of tumble over. Maybe you'll put a foot down, stuff like that. So ignore the fear that your body is telling you. Go through with it, send it. Another thing is, don't be afraid of safety gear. When I was first learning tail whips and bar spins, I had helmets. I didn't wear elbow pads, but I had shin pads and ankle pads, all that good stuff, because it just boosted my confidence. So not only was I not afraid to fall, I knew it wasn't going to hurt if I did fall. So that made learning tail whips so much easier. That made doing bar spins down huge sets so much easier, because not only was I not afraid of falling, I knew it wasn't gonna hurt, so I had absolute no excuse not to send every single trick that came my way. So do not be afraid to throw on some pads, because yeah, like getting shinners, learning tail whips hurts. Sometimes catching weird, it hurts your ankles. I've been through that. I tried to learn them with no pads, and I did learn them with no pads, and I was not improving very fast with them. The second I threw on pads, 1 whips, 3 whips, cab whips, hop whips, all this stuff, because yeah, I was gonna fall, but the shinners, it just completely, the only thing holding me back was the shinners. I was afraid of hurting myself. And once I threw on pads, that was completely out of the question. I was not going to get hurt. Absolutely no excuse not to send it and try it every day. Keep trying till you land it, stuff like that. And the last thing I'm gonna talk about is physically. So if you feel like, let's say you do feel like you're too weak. There's some people, they might not be in the best physical shape. So there's nothing wrong with waking up in the morning, doing 50 sit-ups, doing 25 push-ups, stuff like that. Just slowly just train your body, just get more muscle and stuff like that. Because when I first started riding bikes, I was super scrawny. And like, yeah, I'm only 160 pounds, but like, for example, when I do work out, like formally work out, like my bench press went way up, my squat went way up, all that sorts of stuff. So just work out. Like BMX itself is a workout, but if you just wake up in the morning, do some stuff through the afternoon, just kind of do little workouts. You don't have to join a gym. I'm just saying kind of build some muscle, build some discipline, and it helps a long way. Because like, for example, a long time, I was doing beautiful tail whips, but I couldn't do hop tail whips. I started working out a little bit, and it helped me learn the hop tail whip. This is another thing. So a huge thing in BMX is smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, vaping, and stuff like that. And then I look around, someone does a run, they're fucking dying. They're over there on the sidelines like, and the rest of us that don't participate in that stuff are just, keep going. If you have better endurance, stuff like that, you keep crap out of your lungs, that means you could go longer. Go longer, that means you could try harder, So let's say I'm trying to learn a bar spin. It kind of takes a lot out of you. So whenever you go up, if I have smokers along, I'm like, I tried 2 times, I gotta take a 30-minute break. But within that 30 minutes, the next guy, he's already got 100 more attempts down the road, and then let's say 10 minutes after that, when you're back in it, when you're trying your 4th bar spin, he's already landed it. So it's just a really good way to just build your endurance, keep that crap out of your system, go longer, go harder, go faster. Caden just wrote, be consistent. That's just be consistent. Ride every day, always touch your bike, one with the bike. All right, good job. And kind of going with be consistent and riding every single day is my last point, which is muscle memory. So let's say you learn a bar spin. Keep doing bar spins every single day. A trick a day keeps the, I won't say the doctor away, but that doesn't really make any sense.
Scooter kids away.
Keep the scooter kids away. So muscle memory. So you learn a bar spin. Okay, cool. Keep doing bar spins. Turn it into muscle memory. You learn a 180. Don't immediately go learn the 360. And if you are, make sure you do plenty of 180s every single day. Turns to muscle memory, and that just turns to second nature. Just like when you were learning to walk. Nobody could walk at first, but you did it so much. Now, you don't even think about when you walk. You don't even think about anything like that. It's the same way with BMX. So what I do, every time I learn a trick, first of all, I attack the trick, learn it, use all these to just land the trick, and then once I've landed it, I keep going. I keep hustling just as hard after I've landed the trick, and I keep maintaining that the consistency, so I build muscle memory, so that way that trick just becomes like I'm walking down the street, and then that enables you to build bike control and stuff like that, so you can tackle other tricks, apply to that, and it's just a snowball effect. Muscle memory goes a long way. If you have great muscle memory with a 180, you're gonna be even more set for learning a 360. So those are my tips on how to get better, maybe why you might not be improving. If you liked anything, if this helped you at all, hit that like button, subscribe, link in the description, go check out your merch, and yeah, let me know in the comments below what how-to you want me to drop. Other than that, I'm gonna be coming out with more videos. I kind of like took a little week off, but I'm back and I'm gonna be posting more than ever, so Boss Squad, peace out.
Peace out.